As the girl gets on top of him, she begins teasing him to make him moan, and slowly the two become synced, be it their minds or their bodies. We will discuss later how they got together. The show starts off with a young guy, Junichi, heading to college as the new semester starts. However, he cannot grasp the fact that he is still single while most of the students are in a relationship. Since he doesn't have control over such things, he decides to go with the flow and arrives at his class. He and his 3 friends are once again together as they discuss the envy they feel about others having girlfriends. Junichi feels he should have gotten laid by now, but luck isn't on his side, and he was never able to get too close to a female prior in his life. As they are chatting, his neighbor, Nin, gives him the lunch he forgot at home and tries teasing him. However, Junichi is clear that he has no interest in her childlike body, repelling her. Seeing this, his friends are outraged that he has such a beautiful neighbor, but he assures them that he sees her as nothing more than a little sister since the two were raised practically together. However, just like him, his friends are the scum of the earth and begin fantasizing about her. Shinpei feels that a loli with such big breasts is a gift from God and they must enjoy her. Junichi is annoyed with the 3. And suddenly, the most popular girl in the class, Kashiai Yui, approaches him out of the blue. Junichi is amazed that someone of her status even bothered to talk to him, and the other wants to know more about her classmate. His friends once again preyed on envy and started criticizing him. Afterward, the 3 are reading some magazines when a gal, Yame Yukana, spots them and is infuriated by how they are reading such vulgar things out in the open. Junichi is horrified, and he probably prayed to never cross paths with her again, based on his look. Despite the insults, his friends quite literally enjoyed it as they got to see her legs. The 3 then inform him how easily approachable gals are and how he should make a move. To further convince him, they show him various tales from their gospel about the gals and how they enjoy being all lusty. It is evident that they are tricking him to check whether Yame would beat the shit out of him or actually go out with him, but Junichi is too absent-minded for it to notice, and his friends write a letter on his behalf to the class gal. In the meantime, Junichi is busy fantasizing about his night out with Yame as she dominates him. By the time he snaps back to reality, the letter is already sent and he is forced to head to the destined location mentioned in the letter. Meanwhile, after Yame is finished with school, she plans to go to karaoke with her friend. However, upon finding a letter in her locker, she informs the others about her plans and excuses that she has something necessary to attend to. Her friend understands this, and the 2 plan to go out another day. Afterward, the 2 meet up and Junichi doesn't believe that the other goes out of her way to have a talk with him. Since he is forced to be here anyway, he decides to take the chance and begs her to go out with him. The other is annoyed with this and instantly figures him out to be a virgin. Junichi is horrified at her analysis and almost wants to run, but as her panties are visible, he wants to enjoy the time more. She continuously makes an effort to make him stand up, but each time he comes up with various excuses to continue having a look at her panties. The other has figured this out and tries to tease him. Junichi falls for this once more, and as he believes his life is about to end, he decides to run away. However, the other stops him, and after giving him a taste of a gal, she agrees to go out with him. Junichi spends the whole night pondering about the future and how he could be used by her. Her multiple personalities get into a fight as one believes that he shouldn't doubt everyone and just go with the flow. The following morning, while heading to school, he encounters his friends who apologize for setting him up for such a hard task. Since he doesn't want them to know about yesterday's events, he starts making up stuff and tells them how his life is ruined. Seeing their friend in such an agonizing state, they all lend him their shoulder to cry on and assure him that they will be there for him, no matter what. Suddenly, he receives a selfie from Yame, and they are horrified to find he has her contact saved. They suddenly begin to distance themselves from him, as if they never had any connection whatsoever. Shinpei comes up with another idea and instructs Junichi to ask her out for karaoke. Junichi doesn't feel he will get anything out of it, but Shinpei reveals that karaoke is like a night out for gals, and by asking her out, he will be sure to get laid. Junichi is excited by hearing this and resolves to ask her out, though he still feels scared in case she rejects him. As he enters the class, Yui is there to welcome him, much to his surprise, and she wants to ease his worries as he isn't in good shape. More confusion for Junichi as he doesn't remember her being so friendly toward him. Suddenly, Yame approaches him, and everybody is surprised at how close the 2 are. When Yui asks about their relationship, Yame announces that the 2 are dating, causing everyone to scream astonishingly. After the sudden announcement, Junichi doesn't get the opportunity to ask her out for karaoke, and his friends are about to leave once the class is finished. He quickly follows after them, but they have no will to continue being together with him, as he has not ascended to a higher level than them. Shinpei is incredibly jealous of his friend and wishes nothing but misery upon his newly blossomed happy life. Before he can leave, Yame wants to take him somewhere, and on their way, the two run into Nin, who is astonished he managed to land a girl. However, she is irritated and promptly runs off. Afterward, Yame takes him to karaoke, much to his surprise, as he is also trying to ask her about this, and as the two arrive, Junichi begins imagining various scenarios. As he needs to sing as well, he is embarrassed to tell her that he only remembers anime songs. But after she reveals that she also loves them, the two go their hearts out. During these events, Junichi's cool personality emerges, instructing him to kiss the girl before properly mingling with her. However, as he makes a move on her, the other points out the hair in his nose, and he never quite recovers from this rejection. Yame is embarrassed that she was almost kissed by him. As they are about to say goodbye, Yame thanks him for such a fun day and assures him that the two will visit karaoke once again. Meanwhile, her friend, Hounjo Ranko, watches as she comes out of the karaoke and passionately talks to him. The following morning, after arriving at school, Junichi finds a mysterious love letter in his locker, asking him to meet up with them in the backyard. Shinpei also has a glimpse of it, and while he is initially envious, he suddenly starts encouraging him to go and meet up with the person. Keigo doesn't understand why he would change sides so soon, and Shinpei informs him that in case the letter is from Yui, the three will also get to accompany him and get to visit many parties. Due to their encouragement, Junichi is motivated and he heads off to meet with the sender. Hounjo Ranko is awaiting him, as she wants to test her friend's boyfriend. At the first glimpse, the other recognizes him as a virgin and asks whether he would like a quickie here. Junichi feels that his whole world is about to crumble down, as she is forcing herself on him. After she gets on top of him and starts grinding, Yame arrives, much to his astonishment, and she immediately misunderstands the whole situation. However, once he makes it clear, she wants Ranko to get off of her boyfriend. As Ranko starts fondling her breasts, Junichi doesn't know whether he should be allowed to enjoy such a spectacle but still feels various emotions emerging into his mind. Afterward, the two leave, leaving Ranko enraged that he stole her friend. Later, Yame asks him to go shopping, and Ranko accompanies the two. After entering the clothes shop, Yame wants him to choose the dress for her, and he starts imagining her in those. Though he chooses a different one, Yame still goes with Ranko's recommendation, prompting him to agree with her. Once they are done shopping and set to return to their homes, they are confronted by a few nuisances who want to hit on Yame. Seeing this, Junichi steps up to their support, but the other pushes him down. Ranko decides to give them a blow without a job and take them to the alley to beat the shit out of them. As he returns to his home, he finds Ranko awaiting him outside, who is impressed that he stood out for the two of them. She quickly barges into his home and starts mocking him for being a virgin. Things escalate quickly as she begins making moves on him and forces herself on top of him. Junichi doesn't want his first time to be with her, but the other isn't keen on hearing him out and wants to punish him for stealing Yame away from him. Junichi realizes that she has feelings for Yame, but before he can confront her about this, Yame appears and misunderstands the situation. Ranko makes up an excuse and convinces her that she is just testing the other's boyfriend. The following morning, Junichi heads to the school with peace of mind as he believes Ranko won't make a move on him. Speak of the devil, and she makes an entrance. While she is still enraged, she wants him to keep a secret about her having feelings for her friend. Meanwhile, Yui is peeking at the two, enraged that he has the guts to get close to a girl other than her. To know the gals much better, particularly Yame and Ranko, Junichi starts doing research on them. While surfing the internet, he boards a live stream of a popular gal but feels like he has seen her somewhere. The following morning, Yui enters the room and treats everyone like her slave. She is irritated that Junichi and his friends don't give her the attention she wants. Meanwhile, Keigo is excited about showing them a popular streamer he has come across, and after a glimpse, Junichi realizes it is the same girl he was watching last night. Shinpei also feels that he has seen her somewhere, but even after trying so hard, he can't seem to remember her. Afterward, Junichi is having lunch with Yame when he starts imagining various things and ultimately tries to have her feed him. However, Ranko is also here, who is still bent on punishing him. The three are approached by Yui, who wants to have a word with Junichi. However, Ranko doesn't allow her to talk to her and reveals that she has a dangerous aura around her. As Yame is asked out by her friends, she says her goodbyes to Junichi, and the other is once again approached by Yui, who wants his help with something. He initially believed it was something academic related but was surprised when she took him to a cafe. As imaginative as he is, he comes up with new ideas to satisfy his mind. She wants to confirm whether he is actually dating Yame, as she always thought he was into calm and mature girls. Later, Shinpei is dead bent on discovering her real identity and starts watching the stream. As the girl starts talking about the guy she wants to be her slave and his nuanced friends, Shinpei immediately realizes that the other is talking about Junichi and them. The following morning, Yui is trying to get closer to Junichi once again and wants his favor to help her out with something personal. Shinpei spies on the two and informs his friends about her real identity. They are amazed at his intelligence, and Ranko is also there to teach her a lesson for being cocky. Later, Yui takes Junichi to the rooftop and confesses that she has feelings for him. She cannot stand Yame and wants him by her side all the time. After he turns her down, the other is enraged and tries to harass him with a clip she captured in the cafe. However, before she can force him to go out with her, Ranko and Ko take the spotlight and reveal her secret. Embarrassed, Yui quickly leaves and gives up on harassing him. Yame is awaiting Junichi and the two head back together. Junichi is having a dream about Yame when he suddenly wakes up to find a gal on top of him. Even though she gives him a few hints, he still can't figure out her identity. How can he not recognize her with these giant bazungas? Nin reveals that she has been trying to become a gal, but her voice isn't up to the mark. She will continue practicing to keep improving. Later, while the two are heading to school, she is clinging to him, and he warns her to get away before his friends see them together. His fears are brought to life as Shinpei and the others arrive, and are enraged that he is having another girl cling to him. Minoru, who is interested in little girls, approaches her like a creep and demands to know whether she would be interested in getting to know him better. When the other reveals that she is practically their age, he loses all interest in her. Shinpei and Keigo are still jealous and head to school ahead of them. As he is getting ready to enter his class, Yui approaches to greet him and apologizes for her prior behavior. Suddenly, she smells the scent of another girl around him, and Nin arrives, confirming her suspicion. She cannot believe that he turned out to be such a womanizer. Yui is troubled by her presence, and noticing this, Nin starts insulting her. The other is outraged, but due to Junichi's presence, she doesn't do anything questionable. In the class, Yame is clinging to him, while Shinpei and the others can only stare in envy. Minoru has spotted all the little kids in the area and has drawn a map to know about their location. Shinpei advises that he better cut off their connection with them in case the FBI shows up at his door. Later, he is eating with Yame and Ranko, and as he tries to flirt with his girlfriend, the other negates all his attacks. They are approached by Nin, who searches for him in the entire school and wants to be together with him. As she kisses him on the cheek, Yame is surprised but quickly remembers meeting her. Since Junichi assured her that he doesn't see Nin more than his little sister, Yame has complete faith in her boyfriend. Nin is trying to insult her when the others mistake this and is amazed by her gal's acting. Pissed off, Nin shows off her big breasts to make the other look inferior, and the other two are just amazed that they finally came across someone who has bigger boobs than Yame. Nin is outraged that the others aren't getting infuriated and takes her leave. Later that night, she sneaks into Junichi's bed, demanding that he should have his first time with her as she has known him for the longest time. The other is tempted by this offer, and a fight takes place between his personalities. In the end, they conclude that they should only give their virginity away to Yame, and Junichi apologizes to his childhood friend. The following morning, in the class, Yame greets him, but before she can get close, Nin arrives and promises to steal Junichi away from her. Upon entering the class, Shinpei asks Junichi to lend him an ear as he has the perfect strategy to get him close to his girlfriend. All he needs to do is plan an event at their home and invite all their friends. Junichi is motivated to do so and later meets up with her. Yame wants to invite him to his home, as she is alone. Moreover, she wants to plan all sorts of trips in the summer, so she is excited about their future. However, her mood turns off when the other mentions that he is planning to invite all their friends together. Even though she is pissed off, he still doesn't take back his words and decides to go with his friend's advice. As he is awaiting her after school, Yui spots him and slowly drills him to the wall, prompting him to invite her. Yame doesn't feel good about this. What choice does she have? Later, as they enter her home, Junichi finds out that she wasn't kidding when she admits being alone in her home. However, he feels disrespected as the other doesn't consider him manly enough to peep on her. After entering her room, he is amazed to find it so decorated and instantly regrets asking others for the get-together. As she is about to tease him a little bit, the others enter, and Junichi is the one to be blamed for everything. Though the others are quite a bit generous, Yui is absolutely harsh as she knocks him down with her knee. Soon enough, Shinpei and the others arrive and they propose the king game. The winner decides everything, and Junichi is the one caught up in all the punishments. As for the final move, Shinpei wants him to kiss Yame, but Junichi intervenes and all the guys are forced to kiss each other with tongue. As they all pass out, Yame is amazed at how fun the get-together was and wants to go on a beach trip with all of them. Junichi is perplexed how quickly her mind changes and feels that their relationship has progressed much more than it seems. Shinpei and Ko are excited to go to the beach party, but they are low on budget. Luckily, Shinpei manages to find a suitable job, including one for Minoru, who is into lolis, though they do warn him to be careful. As for Junichi, Shinpei advises him to apply at a cosplay cafe where he would work in the kitchen. They all get accepted into their jobs, and Shinpei and Keigo face the harsh realities on the first day as they are subjected to labor. On their way back, they spot Minoru talking to a small child, prompting them to tell the other to see the inside of a jail. Junichi heads to the cafe, and he is surprised to find all his female friends working inside. The manager has a weird taste, and he carefully stares at each of them to check whether they look better enough. As for Junichi, he can just head off to the kitchen. Shinpei has gotten better at his job, and Keigo is impressed with how active he is. Junichi accidentally enters the changing room, only to find Yui without any clothes, and she is enraged that the other is peeping on her. Later, as he is about to drink from a bottle, Yame also feels thirsty and he gives it to her. Believing that he can receive his first indirect kiss, he rushes to drink the remaining, but Ranko is too cunning and she makes sure he doesn't get to enjoy any of it. Meanwhile, Shinpei's manager is extremely happy with his work, and as he is leaving, he puts him in charge of all the staff. He is passionate about their business and promises to raise sales. Keigo believes he has something in mind that drives him to be this passionate. On the other hand, Minoru continues to irritate children and the other staff gets concerned. After a few weeks, there are only a few days remaining for their beach trip and Junichi just wants tomorrow to come as it will be his last day at the cafe. The following day, their manager informed them about the book day where they would read one aloud to the customers. Nin picks one up, and they all realize how perverted it is. Ranko also reads one just to tease him. Seeing this, Yame also tries one. Their manager barges in to inform them about their duties, and Junichi immediately stands up for his friends as he feels it would make them uncomfortable. The manager doesn't really have any manners and wants to attract the customers by whatever means, so he commands him to shut his mouth. Suddenly, Yui enters to tell him about the phone call from their owner who has cancelled the event, prompting him to apologize to all the girls. After receiving their payments, they all say their goodbyes to the cafe. On the way back, Yame reveals that while there were some irritating moments, she did enjoy her job. However, she now wants to work at a family restaurant and karaoke. Junichi is amazed when the other reveals her wish to go somewhere alone, just the two of them. Summer is here and they all head to the beach to enjoy their vacation. Shinpei and Ko have all the women in here gazing with lusty eyes. As they are perplexed by such a view, Ranko and the others make their introductions in swimsuits much to their amazement. Nin immediately wants Junichi's attention and starts rubbing her boobs on his body. Even though she is like that usually, he feels she should at least act morally in public. Junichi is head over heels for his girlfriend when he sees her in a red swimsuit, twinkling like an amaryllis amidst the belladonnas. They all start enjoying their day, and Yui is embarrassed to have such small breasts compared to others, especially Nin, who has such breasts with such a small body. Ranko and Yame are enjoying their time inside the water, playing with each other, and Junichi follows. Nin isn't about to let her spot be taken by others, and she heads there after him to make sure he doesn't miss her. Yui also joins them to enjoy some time together. On the other hand, Shinpei, Keigo, and Minoru have found their perfect jobs and they continue being creeps like usual. They have all the time to stare at the women and even capture photos. The weirdest of them, Minoru is doing his things, and he better pray some guys in the uniform don't show up here. After playing basketball in the water, Yame and Ranko head off to make arrangements for the night, and instruct them to not leave their spot. Now, Nin can enjoy all sorts of things with her childhood friends. Later, as they return, some guys hit on them, and much to their irritation, they are rather persistent. Junichi wants to intervene but feels he shouldn't decide anything for Yame as it is up to her whether she is interested in talking to them. However, he realizes he is wrong when the other reveals that she is annoyed by the others. Shinpei and his gang were instructed to keep a lookout for their camp earlier, but now that Yame and Ranko are here, they are forced to head off to enjoy their time, even though they want to spend eternity gazing at the beauties here. Yame and Ranko both want some oil massage, and Junichi is their man to go. It wouldn't be easy for anyone to do this job, but Junichi is the master of this job and he takes care of them together. Later at night, Shinpei wants Junichi's help in coming up with a plan to peek at the girls. As he is persistent, the other tempts him by making him think about his girlfriend and he is immediately motivated. However, they notice that there is also rage besides his passion. Minoru isn't interested in those old hags, and as he has heard that there are children in the men's bath, he heads there. On the other hand, girls are enjoying their nice time bathing while enjoying the starry sky, brimming with dazzling stars. Ranko is interested in fondling their breasts, and she starts off with Yame. However, when she tells her about Nin, the other is amazed that she has such big breasts, and both of them start annoying her. Yui feels lucky to be small-chested, but Yame is a nuance through and through, and even she isn't safe from her wickedness. As they are done irritating one another, Yui is worried that somebody might peek at them, but Ranko informs her that the innkeeper assured them nobody could pass through his security. Meanwhile, Junichi and Ko are on their way to the bathhouse to peep on them, and in the midst, Shinpei realizes that Junichi has betrayed them. The other simply doesn't want to become the villain against his friends and believes they should give up on peeping. However, the others disrespect his manliness and start chasing him to get rid of him, as he is a bigger threat than the government now. He accidentally falls into the river and the two continue their way to finish their job. On their way, they come across various obstacles, but even after beating them, their stamina is at the limit and a bomb detonates. It was actually a trigger for the fireworks and the girls enjoyed the night. Later, Junichi wakes up to find himself around Yame and the girls on the beach. They inform him about the others and advise him to not make more trouble for them. Still, Yame is thankful for everything he has done for them. Hearing this, Junichi asks her to come visit the beach again, just with him, though. Yame and Junichi are out shopping when they come across her middle school classmate, Dai. He continues making a reference to their past and Junichi wonders whether they had a thing for each other. Seeing them talk as if they are lovers, Junichi doesn't feel that Yame loves him the same, and as she introduces him to Dai, it is evident that he has some malicious intentions in mind. On their way back, Junichi confesses how he feels about him, and Yame realizes that he has gotten insecure. Since she is in a bad mood, she heads off alone. Later that night, to ease his loneliness, Junichi watches Yui's stream where she describes the entire trip. The next day, his friends are surprised that he is looking so gloomy after a fun trip and assure him that they will help him in whatever way they can. After describing the whole situation, they instantly realize that the other is bad news, and Shinpei believes this may possibly lead to NTR. As Junichi doesn't know the term, he spends the next hour explaining the whole thing and ultimately concludes that Dai is stealing his girl away from him. As she enters the class, Junichi realizes the other is ignoring him, and even after trying multiple times, he can't seem to get near her. He finally musters up some courage to confront her, but it ends up as a failure as the other is going to meet her middle school classmates. After school, his friends take him to karaoke to cheer him up, and he immediately confesses all his worries to them. Easing his mind, Shinpei encourages him to apologize to Yame, even if it's not her fault, as he believes boys should be manly enough to amend serious situations. He takes his advice to heart and promises to meet up with the other, until he spots him with the same guy from before in a cafe. He feels like his life has finished and is awaiting his next reincarnation. The following day, while getting back from school, he is approached by the usually cheerful Yame, who wants to accompany him to his house. She apologizes for being all cold with him yesterday, and assures him that they can spend some time together now. However, instead of amending the situation, Junichi starts asking about her activities. He is enraged that she was so lovey-dovey with the other, having forgotten about him back then, and now acting as if she put his feelings before. Before he could hear her reasoning, he ran off to his home. Yui spots him gloomy at school and takes him to the rooftop to lend him an ear. Instead of helping him solve his problem, she reveals how selfish he is for putting himself before anyone else. Later at night, he once again watches her stream where she reveals how she fell in love with him but couldn't make a move as he was already in a relationship, and how he has become such a terrible person now. Before going to sleep, he informs his friends about a meeting tomorrow. Yame and the others have gathered to lend her an ear, and she reveals her emotions. Ranko is enraged that the other hurt her friend and immediately goes after him. In the cafeteria, upon her confrontation, Junichi reveals how terrible of a person he is and promises Ranko to resolve everything. Suddenly, Dai and his friends enter, revealing how he just wanted to toy with Yame, and further insulting her. Junichi is enraged by the disrespect and decides to confront him. Junichi is dead bent on making him apologize for all he said about Yame, and the other, as cocky as he is, doesn't want to take back anything. Since the cafe is such a rowdy place, they take the fight outside, and he immediately grabs onto his leg, biting it with full force until he takes back his words. To get away from his chainsaw-like teeth, Dai makes a fake promise to apologize for everything and beats him. Fortunately, the others arrive to rescue him, and they instruct him to head off to meet up with Yame and resolve their problem. As they are more in numbers, Dai feels comfortable beating 3 guys and a girl but quickly realizes how wrong he was as the girl unleashes a rampage. While running away from them, he accidentally bumps into a small child, enraging Minoru. This is the first time he is relevant in the entire series. Even though the others try to stop him as he will do more damage than necessary, Ranko, promptly after kicking Dai in the balls, unleashes the beast on him. Meanwhile, Junichi tries contacting Yame but she doesn't want to respond. He leaves a message, asking her to meet him at a certain place, and after waiting the entire day, the other shows up. He immediately gets on the ground and begs her to go out with him one time. Yame commands him to get up and accepts his request. As they are free later in the evening, the two head off to the amusement park to enjoy their date. The two get lost for a brief moment, but eventually rejoin and Yame asks him for a kissing picture, only to be tricked. As they are ready to get back, Yame reaches out to kiss him out of the blue before running off. The next morning, while he is getting back from school, he is approached by all the girls, who notice something happened between the two and want an explanation. However, Yame doesn't feel like revealing any secret, and the two run off hand in hand. What did you think about this video? Let us know in the comments. For now, leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more content.